Justin Trudeau, for all his professed enlightenment and grandiose liberal posturing, is far from a figure anyone with intellectual integrity would instinctively leap to defend. His tenure as Prime Minister has often been a mess of virtue signalling and political cowardice, where progressive values are more props for public appearances than guiding principles for genuine reform. Whether it's his handling of Indigenous rights or climate change, he's routinely demonstrated that his instinct to do good is muddled by a profound lack of substance. Trudeau is a leader more in love with the idea of leadership than with actually leading. A man who wants to occupy the moral high ground, but often finds himself floundering in shallow waters. And yet here we are, with Trudeau standing at the Foreign Interference Commission and delivering an accusation that has suddenly clarified just how far the rot has spread. Jordan Peterson, the sanctimonious prophet of masculine resurgence, accused of taking money from Russia's state-controlled broadcaster RT, alongside his ideological twin Tucker Carlson. Both men who present themselves as defenders of the West, champions of freedom against the creeping tide of liberal decay, are now alleged to be on the payroll of a regime that wants nothing more than to see the West implode. Jordan Peterson has built a following by telling young men they've been wronged by modern society, that feminism and progressivism have castrated them, leaving them adrift in a world that doesn't value their masculinity. He has capitalized on this grievance, turning it into a movement, all while peddling a fantasy of self-improvement wrapped in reactionary politics. But now we learn that this savior of disillusioned men might be little more than a puppet with strings pulled by those who have no interest in the restoration of Western values, but seek instead to undermine them. The entire edifice of Peterson's credibility crumbles under the weight of this accusation. And it fits. His incessant railing against cultural Marxism, his paranoid fear of societal collapse, it all serves a larger agenda, one that is entirely compatible with the goals of an autocratic regime like Russia's. A regime that thrives on destabilizing the very democratic institutions Peterson claims to defend. While Peterson masquerades as a defender of freedom, his message has always been one of submission to hierarchical authority, of a return to an imagined past, where men ruled without question and women knew their place. This is not a man speaking truth to power. This is a man whose entire brand has become a perfect tool for foreign influence, whether he recognizes it or not. The right-wing grievance machine Peterson represents is exactly what regimes like Russia, Iran, and North Korea need to fuel division and distract Western societies from the real threats they face. So, while Peterson's sycophants may cry foul, and while he might laugh off the accusations with flippant remarks, the truth is out. His entire career as the voice of the disillusioned male may very well be built on money funneled from a foreign power that seeks only to watch the world burn. It's a fitting end for a man who has spent his years railing against the very systems that gave him the freedom to speak in the first place.